On a cold evening, a little boy, no older than 12, walked through the busy streets with his hands tucked deep inside his torn pockets. All he had was a single crumpled dollar bill, the last piece of money he owned. His shoes had holes, his stomach ached from hunger, and every step felt heavier than the last. He stopped outside a small cafe, pressing his face against the glass, watching families laugh over warm food. The smell of fresh bread and soup made his empty stomach twist even harder. He looked down at the $1 in his hand. It wasn't enough for a proper meal, barely enough for a piece of bread. For a moment, he thought of giving up, of accepting that the world had forgotten him. Yet deep down, he clung to a fragile hope that maybe, just maybe, someone would notice his silent struggle. As the boy stood outside the cafe, clutching his single dollar, a woman noticed him from across the street. She was dressed neatly in a simple coat, carrying a bag of groceries, and her eyes softened when she saw the sadness in his face. Unlike others who walked past, she slowed down, curious about the little boy's silence. The boy quickly looked away, embarrassed by his worn-out clothes and hungry stare. But the woman stepped closer, kneeling so her eyes could meet his. She asked gently, "Are you hungry?" A question no one had ever cared to ask before. The boy hesitated, then quietly nodded, unable to hide his truth any longer. Without a second thought, she offered her hand and said, "Come with me." That single moment, one stranger choosing to care, became the turning point that would change his life forever. The woman guided the boy into a small bakery nearby, the warmth of fresh bread filling the air. She placed her groceries on the counter, then pulled out a single dollar bill from her purse. To anyone else, it was just $1. But to her, it was an intentional act of kindness. She bought him a simple meal, a sandwich and a glass of milk. The boy's eyes widened as he held the food in his small hands, almost disbelieving that it was real. He whispered a soft, "Thank you," his voice trembling with both gratitude and shock. The woman smiled and said, "Never forget. Kindness grows when it's shared." That $1 meal didn't just fill his stomach, it planted a seed in his heart. A seed that would one day grow into a powerful vision of giving back to the world. As the boy finished his meal, he looked at the woman with eyes full of wonder. No one had ever treated him with such care, especially not for something as small as $1. At that moment, he made a silent promise to himself. He vowed that if he ever found success in life, he would never let another child go hungry. The memory of that $1 kindness burned deep into his heart. He didn't just see food on the table. He saw hope, dignity, and possibility. That single act transformed his pain into determination. Every night after, he reminded himself, "One day, I will return this kindness 1,000 times over." It became his driving force, his hidden motivation that kept him moving even when life got harder. A boy's promise would soon shape the destiny of a future millionaire. Years passed, but the memory of that $1 kindness never faded. The boy, now a young man, carried it like a torch guiding his every step. He worked tirelessly, often juggling 2 or 3 jobs just to survive. There were countless failures, rejections, closed doors, and sleepless nights. But each time he wanted to give up, he remembered that meal. He remembered the feeling of being seen, cared for, and believed in. That memory fueled his courage to try again and again. Slowly, his efforts began to pay off. A small business deal here, a successful project there. Each win was like adding another brick to the foundation of his dream. The road was long and rough, but determination turned obstacles into stepping stones. The boy who once had nothing was now walking steadily toward something extraordinary. Years later, the boy was no longer poor. He had become a millionaire. But deep inside, he knew money wasn't the real treasure. It was the kindness of one woman who gave him hope when he had nothing. One evening, He returned to the same small neighborhood. In his hand wasn't $1 this time, but a gift far greater. He found the old woman who once shared her food. Her eyes filled with tears as he told her, "You saved me." He bought her a new home, ensured she never struggled again, and treated her like family. For him, success wasn't about the riches he gained. It was about giving back the love that once saved his spirit. The boy who once begged for food was now feeding thousands, starting with the woman who believed in him first.